Now, I'm guessing the question is, should you save up the money or will you be just satisfied with the A51? So, on paper, we know that the 7 Pro is going to be the overall better device because it just costs more. But you might not need to spend that extra money. So you might be satisfied with the A51. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so let's talk about the hardware. So on both these phones, very beautiful designs on both of these phones. The A51 has, in my opinion, the better looking phone here because of the psychedelic color, and it's just a really beautiful phone. It kind of looks a little bit more up to date with the kind of iPhone-ish Pixel-ish camera setup here. It is a quad camera setup, little Samsung branding, but on the 7 Pro, it is definitely the better feeling phone in the hand. It's made out of premium materials. The A50 is plastic, triple camera setup, little OnePlus branding right there as well. Down below you have a headphone jack on the A51. You also have USB Type-C, a single firing speaker on both. The 7 Pro does have dual speakers, one speaker up top, but you do not have a headphone jack on the 7 Pro. So in place of that, you see the SIM tray slot here. So that is unfortunate. It's one thing that I miss on the 7 Pro. On the sides, you do have the power button and volume rocker on the A50. On the 7 Pro, you actually have a mute and vibration switch, and you also have the power button. And then on the other side, you have your volume rockers, and you have nothing on the A51. Alright, so let's talk about the display. So on the 7 Pro, you have a 6.67 inch 1440p 516 for the PPI display, and it is gorgeous, a 90 Hz display. And on the Galaxy A51, you have a 6.5 inch display. It's a Super AMOLED, still really great with the little punch hole. It is 405 for the PPI. So as you can see, on the 7 Pro, you just have a higher resolution display, and it is a curved display, which I actually not a big fan of for watching videos. It does make the phone feel more premium, but definitely I like the flat display on the A51. And the 7 Pro just has the better display here because it's higher res, higher pixel density, and it's also a 90 Hz display with no notch on it. So you really can't go wrong. So if you're just really into watching media on your phone, the 7 Pro is going to be the way to go. Alright, let's go ahead and see how both speakers compare, starting with the 7 Pro. Very good speakers. You do have dual speakers on here. Let's go ahead and do it on the A51. So as you can see, the A51 is just lacking a whole bunch of depth because it's just not a dual speaker phone, but it does have really excellent speakers. It's just not going to be as good as the 7 Pros. Alright, so let's keep running down those specs. So on the A51, you have Android 10 on top of One UI, the Exynos 9611, and the Mali G72 GPU. So it's pretty much like a mid-range chip. You do have micro SD support, 64 gigs of storage on this one, and 4 gigs of RAM. On the 7 Pro, you have Android 10 along with Oxygen OS, the Snapdragon 855, and the Adreno 640. You do not have expandable storage, which is one thing that I hate on this phone, but you have 128 gigs of storage and 6 gigs of RAM. So basically, if you want a gaming phone, the 7 Pro is going to be a beast and play anything on the highest settings. The A51 does not support Fortnite, but it plays PUBG and Call of Duty very well. So they're both excellent gaming smartphones, but if you just want the ultimate gaming experience, then you're going to go with the 7 Pro. In addition, you have that 90 Hz display, so you can game with that, and it does make a difference. So definitely, if you're going for gaming, save up, get the 7 Pro. Now, if you do not play Fortnite, then you'll be satisfied with the A51, I believe, because it plays all the other games just fine. But that comes down to you and what kind of gaming you're doing. So let's run a quick speed test. Go ahead and exit everything out. 3, 2, 1. Play Store. 3, 2, 1. And let's go ahead and try Call of Duty. 3, 2, 1. Now on the 7 Pro you have a 48 megapixel wide and 8 megapixel telephoto and a 16 megapixel ultra wide, shoots at 2160p maxed out. You have the pop-up selfie camera that is a 16 megapixel that also shoots in 1080p. Now on the A51 you have a quad camera setup. It is a 48 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 5 megapixel dedicated macro camera, and you also have a 5 megapixel depth sensor as well, shoots in 2160p. The front facing camera is a 32 megapixel wide and that shoots in 1080p. Now if you were worried about the A51 having whack cameras, then think again, because the cameras on the A51 are just as good as the 7 Pro, and you could say even better. Takes some excellent photos. Samsung has some really great image processing, and you got to remember this phone is cheaper, but yeah, the A51 for its price point just impresses me with the camera. Here's another one with the Funko Pop. Go ahead and zoom in on that. As you can see, very close in image quality on both these. Let me turn this brightness down. So as you can see, very close in image quality. Here's another one. So the cool thing about the A51 is you do have that dedicated macro camera, so you can get really close in on shots. So if you're really into macro shots, that is something that the 7 Pro lacks. And yeah, they just are a beast. So both these phones are really great. So camera wise, you can't really go wrong with either phone. Alright, so both of these phones have NFC. The 7 Pro does not have an IP rating, but you can actually get this phone wet. It just doesn't have the official IP rating on it. The A51 does not have one at all. Now for the fingerprint scanner, it's like night and day. The 7 Pro still has the fastest fingerprint scanner on the market. It's pretty much instant, like using a physical one. The A51 is not as fast. As you can see, it kind of takes a second, but it's efficient, so it works. Boom. So, you know, not as fast as the 7 Pro, but it's still, you know, it works 100% of the time. So on the A51, you have a 4,000 milliamp battery, 15 watt fast charging, and the battery life is just a straight up beast on this phone. You can get around 10 to 11 hours of screen on time, which is absolutely ridiculous. And on the 7 Pro, you actually have a 4,000 milliamp battery, which will get you around 8 hours and 30 minutes of screen on time. But you also get 30 watt warp charge, which is actually really nice. So this phone charges extremely fast, so you kind of have to make that trade-off. But this is going to be just a beast when it comes to battery life. Alright, so there you go. So which one would you guys get? Would you save your money and get the 7 Pro, or are you satisfied with the A51 and what it offers? So thanks for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.